Your Excellency Ambassador Chinoy, representative from the Ministry of External Affairs of India, representative from the delegation of the European Union to India, Your Excellency Ambassador Bencini, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure to take part in this opening session of the International Science and Technology Conference on Scientific and Technological Developments, Benefits and Risks for the Biological Weapons Convention. This conference comes at a crucial time in the run-up to the 9th Review Conference of the Biological Weapons Convention, which will get underway in November. While the COVID-19 pandemic may have postponed the review conference from last year, ongoing challenges for the BWC have continued unabated. Recent events in the international arena have highlighted threats to peace and security that the international community must overcome. This can only be done through dialogue, diplomacy, and public awareness. It also requires the upholding and strengthening of existing treaties. I would like to take this opportunity to appreciate the able leadership of Ambassador Leonardo Bencini of Italy, President-designate of the Review Conference, in leading the dialogue and efforts towards this vital meeting. I also would like to thank the European Union for its generous support and continued contributions to UNODA and to the work of the BWC Implementation Support Unit. I would like to express my gratitude to the Government of India and to the Manohar Parrikar Institute of Defense Studies and Analysis for hosting this conference. Finally, I warmly welcome the participation of young scientists and academics in this conference. Some of them have attended previous Youth for Biosecurity workshops organized by UNODA. I hope their fresh ideas will also enrich this event. Distinguished participants, we are in a complex and challenging international environment, and the risk of the natural, accidental, or deliberate spread of dangerous pathogens is ever present. Developments in science and technology are long-standing topics of discussion among states parties to the Convention. Science underpins much of the Convention, particularly in the context of Articles 1, 7, 10, and 12. It has also been addressed in previous review conferences, intersessional programs, and meetings of experts. Since its entry into force in 1975, trends and advances in life sciences and associated technology developments have presented both potential opportunities and risks to the BWC. Advances in dual-use and dual-purpose science and technology are at the heart of the Convention. Yet, to date, no institutionalized mechanism has been established for regular technical reviews of relevant scientific developments. Nonetheless, such advances can challenge perceptions and the BWC implementation environment. They may raise ethical and legal questions. They may also raise security concerns regarding life sciences and the biological weapons regime, including on risk assessment. Advances in key fields in biology, along with emerging trends in artificial intelligence, machine learning, and cyber biosecurity, have brought great benefits to humankind. They also bring opportunities for international cooperation while framing or shaping ethical, safety, and security concerns worldwide. Bringing together subject matter experts, along with diplomats and policymakers, has historically been critical to enhance implementation, dialogue, and common understanding. It also permits a better assessment of how existing norms could be strengthened without obstructing scientific progress. It is therefore paramount to improve the engagement of academia, industry, the private sector, and the scientific community. This enables technology transfer and information sharing as foreseen under Article 10 of the Convention. It also facilitates exchanging views and practical considerations, as well as assessing concerns and risks. Distinguished participants, we are 7 weeks away from the 9th Review Conference, where states parties will exchange, discuss, and identify risks which could undermine the BWC, and challenges which could compromise existing frameworks. In this regard, international efforts, cooperation, preparedness, and response in line with the BWC provisions remain instrumental. I commend states parties' efforts to engage in a dialogue and contribute towards an inclusive, effective, and sustainable governance framework. The BWC will commemorate its 50th anniversary in 2025. The challenges are long-standing, but science and technology developments are evolving at an increasingly fast pace. Speed, change, and innovation are the norm. As the UN Secretary-General warned in his report on our common agenda, technology is moving ahead without guardrails to protect us from its unforeseen consequences. States parties have stressed the importance of awareness raising, information sharing, and transparency, along with discussions on technical bodies, advisory mechanisms, verification protocols, ethical guidelines, biorisk management standards, and other practical initiatives. They have repeatedly underlined the relevance of compliance and the need to enhance verification and review mechanisms to mitigate risks of misuse while enabling cooperation for peaceful purposes. This conference will conclude with an open discussion on the science policy interface to reflect on the challenges and identify intersections and gaps. It will also provide a unique opportunity to exchange insights and incentives to move towards the 9th Review Conference with some concrete recommendations and ideas. I wish to encourage all of you to take an active and constructive approach during the upcoming days to reflect on and assess how the states parties can better absorb and embrace the recent developments in the life sciences and enabling technologies with particular attention to their positive implications. Bridging the gaps and finding a balance between the pace of science and technology developments and the diplomatic processes to manage the risks associated must be promoted. We need frequent and better informed dialogue between these communities. Our challenge is to find better and smarter ways to meaningfully integrate these discussions and their implications into the BWC for diplomats and policymakers to act upon. We trust that this conference is a constructive step in this direction. And as always, the UN Office for Disarmament Affairs stands ready to assist. I thank you very much for your attention, and I wish you a productive conference.